could have separated the smoothness of Sayers from the power of Peyton as Walter blazed a breathtaking trail across the lake.
The effortless stride and elusive grace belong to Walter Payton, the latest in a vintage line of Chicago Bear game breakers. A list that includes such football immortals as Red Grange, Beatty Feathers, George McAfee, Willie Gallimore, and most recently Gale Sayers, the man to whom Payton is most often compared. Like Sayers, Payton inspires and leads by example. He's the driving force behind Chicago's return to contention, the heartbeat of this young club, with all the natural gifts to earn himself a niche in the hall.
The Rams having a tough time today. First down, Avellini on a draw to Walter Payton, 40, 45, 50. He is trying to get a block by Scott, and he's all the way to the 41-yard line. Walter Payton just exploded off the ball.
Just a quick draw. Payton is picking his holes. There he is. He's using his blockers. Watch the lateral movement he has. Changes the hand of the ball, gives the stiff arm, picks those legs up. So he's just using everything he's got in front of him. That's a smart...
The 5-yard line. Bob Avellini to Payton. He may get the corner turned, and he's in for the touchdown. Walter Payton just got inside that pylon as James Hunter is the guy who ran over. From the 19, first down. There's another delay to Walter Payton to the 15. Payton to the 10. He just ran over somebody. Paul Newmoff. Avellini, Payton again, and Walter Payton is in for the touchdown. And there's the spike by Jeff Stevie. That's one of the traditions. Avellini again, Walter Payton, and Payton skips around. Look at that effort.
Look at that. Wow. That kid is just tough.
Right, of course, when you're running like they did, picking up 260 yards rushing, you don't have to throw it that much. Payton spinning off a couple of tacklers. Nice hole over the middle, and he reaches the 36 for a pickup of 5.
Second down and 10 for Avellini and the Bears. Pitch back to Payton. Got a man out in front of him, and Walter Payton is inside the 40 and turns it all the way down to the 37-yard line. But Braddock couldn't hold on. Now Avellini on first down looking to put it up again. He's got time. Now the big rush comes, and Avellini throws and gets a man. It's Walter Payton. And Payton is inside the 10. It's going to be touchdown Chicago. Avellini, who had a scramble, got it off on the run. He looked for an open man, and he got the right one in Walter Payton. Avellini in the flat goes to Walter Payton. He's a tough guy. Look at Walter Payton. He almost took it a long, long way. Had he not gotten by, Bob Pollard finally ran him down, and Myers came over. Now the Bears start to mount a challenge at the 26-yard line. Walter Payton takes it up the middle, ripping into the heart of the New Orleans defense like he shot out of a gun. 5 to play, 35-10 New Orleans. Pitch back goes to Walter Payton. Look at that run. Payton's going to take it in for a touchdown. He's had a lot of great runs. None any better than that. Pitch back to Payton. And Walter Payton, look at this kid play football. Isn't he something? He's going to go the distance possibly. Isn't he amazing? He is literally astounding. He is an astounding football. He stepped out of bounds at the 14-yard line. He's hit him head on about 3 times and just bounced off. Payton takes it down to the 1-yard line as we have the 2-minute warning given. Walter Payton over the top. Touchdown, Chicago.
Look at this, number 35 is Harper. Look at him turn back on the inside. Good block right there. And look at Corey.
69 out front, and look at Sweetness move.
Torrey took out Elmendorf. And everybody is talking about Walter Payton. Let's look again, Don.
Well, he did an awful lot of it. He's got some good blocks out here, but watch this. Fryer misses him. Now here's where he turns it back on. You see Larry Brooks almost gets him number 90. Actually, that's Cody Jones. I missed a few numbers. Now he's just sitting there and watching them go.
And that big number 65 was Noah Jackson. He made the block that sprung Walter Payton. First and 10.
Led at halftime of last year's game up here, 17-0. Payton. Look at him drive. Picks up 5 to the 30-yard line. On the delay, Payton to the 50, 45, and down to the 43-yard line. That is all they need for the first down, the way that ball is spotted, and Sweetness gets it. And then some as he moves it inside the 15-yard line to the 13. Payton picking up the first down and a lot of change as he moves it out to the 44-yard line. No pedaling, just a loss for the Bears on the play. Here's Payton.
Watch out.
Look at this. Payton doing it all on his own. He looks like he's about a yard short of the first down.
And the Chicago Bears. Walter Payton leads the NFL in rushing because he performs well regardless of the caliber of Chicago's opponent. Against the veteran Vikings, Payton eclipsed the 100-yard rushing mark for the 4th time this season, setting up
the 25-yard line. A pitch back to Walter Payton. Payton got a good block from Roland Harper, and he got out across the 30-yard line. Roland Harper threw a marvelous block on Ralph Ortega.
Second down 5, Payton, and Payton's got the first down. Look at him run across the 40 to the 35, and Payton's all the way inside the 30-yard line. It's now 3rd and 7, Walter Payton. And Payton to the 5, and Walter Payton finally run out of bounds there. He has a first and goal now for the Bears. The 36, a gain of a half yard. Up the middle, here comes Payton. To the 45, he may go. He's to the 35, the 30. Walter Payton is cut off. Just outside the 5-yard line, is coming over there in a hurry was Willie Buchanan.
And Tom Toner missed the tackle. 59 is the man that had to get him. He was the one to fill the hole. He gets these arms on him, but Payton is so elusive. He just broke away and then turned on the speed, and finally it was a foot race. He pinned him in the corner, and Buchanan knocked him out of bounds. But Walter Payton he's got to be pushing 100 yards already.
The ball just outside the 5, first and goal. Avellini, here comes Payton. And Payton is in for the touchdown.
Unbelievable. There's Noah Jackson giving a little tap on the head, number 65 today. Watch him as Musso leads the way. Now he's going to get hit a couple of times. It goes up and over, and then the contact is made here by Gray, and then he just drags 2 or 3 Packers in, including McCoy, Gray, and Carr.
Exception. That was a kind of a circus catch that time. Here comes Walter Payton. He didn't have much running time in the second half, but here he goes. Walter Payton for that carry at 166 yards, and he's close to the midfield stripe. Jim Carter, Johnny Gray making the tackle. Avellini, Walter Payton. And Payton moves the ball close to the 35-yard line. Second and goal, diving in is Musso. He's in. Touchdown. So the Chicago Bears get some more breathing room. Number 3 of the year. With this 23-0 lead, led by the marvelous Walter Payton. To the bottom of the screen along with Scott, here's Walter Payton cutting back against the grain. And the great running back brings it outside of the 27-yard line.
So quick, it was kind of like the draw play. It was off to the left, but you have some options there. He plays off of Noah Jackson's block and then takes off and almost broke this for a long one. He was just getting under gear, and Johnny Gray.
Avellini feeds Payton, and Payton finds some running room for the first time this afternoon and jets out to the 38-yard line for a pickup of 6 yards. 9-yard field goal by Fritsch. Avellini hands to Payton, and Payton breaks a couple tackles at the line of scrimmage and is out to the 20-yard line for a pickup of 9 with the fake punt and the successful forward pass. Here's Avellini pitching to Payton. Musso leading the interference. Waller trying to get outside and run out of bounds in front of the Houston bench. Avellini, quick throw to Payton, 45. Payton to the 50-yard line and dragged out of bounds at the Oiler 48. Back, 3rd down, 17 for the Bears. Payton, 20, 25. Walter Payton Waiting for that first down. He's going to be a couple of yards short. Willie Alexander, number 19, finally nails him. Left to play. First half. Payton charging up the middle. There's a guy who never gives up no matter what the score is. He got 9. And off to Payton. Payton slips a tackle at the 15 and run out of bounds at the 20-yard line. First and 10, Bears at their 23-yard line. Robin Earl gets the call from Mike Phipps. Hurdles across the 30-yard line out to the 32 for the first down at their 32-yard line. Payton has the first out at the 37-yard line. So the Bears put together 2 straight first downs.
The Chiefs visit the Bears, and the Chiefs stormed to a 17-0 lead, but all day long they were fearful of this man, Walter Payton. This, a 15-yard run that has as much brilliance in it as any 90-yard touchdown dash you'll ever see. Payton, a marvelous running back, who is now the outstanding runner in the National Football League. 2 minutes left in the game. Kansas City leading 20-14. The Bears fighting back. And there goes Payton. Look at his stats on the day. The Bears went ahead 21-20. But just as quickly, the Chiefs responded.
But on the first play from scrimmage, Walter Payton foreshadowed things to come. On the replay, watch Payton slide outside the block of number 65, Noah Jackson, for 29 yards and a first down in Viking territory. But a one-handed to Payton 4 straight times, and Payton carried to the Viking 1. From the 1, number 69, Reevy Sorey escorted Payton around the Viking left side as Payton pitter-pattered in for the game's first score. What to expect, but they still couldn't stop him. First a 23-yarder put the ball in Viking territory. Then an 11-yarder carried into field goal range. Penalty, Walter Payton's final yardage of the half, a 14-yard draw play, put the ball on the 18. Several plays later, with 47 seconds remaining, Bob Thomas lifted the Bears' lead possession after the Vikings touchdown. Walter Payton, running behind the blocking of number 69, Reevy Sorey, increased his yardage total another 19 yards, but the Bears couldn't capitalize on it and had to punt. Walter Payton had swept 22 yards to take the Bears out of danger and still couldn't get on track, and the Bears took over. Once again, they started a long, sustained drive on the ground, punctuated by one brilliant gem by Walter Payton. 58 yards later, the Bears had the ball on the Minnesota 9, where the Vikings got tough for 4 consecutive plays. It's his field, and it's where he does his thing best. Walter Payton had indeed done his thing, shattering O.J. Simpson's single-game National Football League rushing record with a whopping 275 yards on 40 carries. He gained 144 yards in the first half and added 131 in the second, including his 58-yarder. The Bears had won a game they knew they had to win and were now thrust right back in their division race along with Detroit. Both teams are tied for second place with records of 5-5. Silverdome, Detroit and Chicago slugged it out. The winner to stay within a game of Minnesota. With so much at stake, bodies were flying. Ran 43 yards on the second play of the half and displayed a new talent to go with his 2,000-yard pace rushing statistics. Payton's 75-yard touchdown reception was part of a 17-point third quarter for the Bears that blew the game open, 37 for the day. 1,541 for the year, and finished the scoring in a 31-14 Chicago victory. Chicago guards Noah Jackson and Reeve Sori don't boogie as well as David Hill either, but their Ginger and Fred routine was much more satisfying than Hill's. 142, Payton still needs 362 more in his next 2 games to break O.J.'s record of 2003. The game's only touchdown was scored by the NFC's leading scorer, Walter Payton, and it was more than enough to deal the Bucks their 26th straight loss, 10-0. On the corner for the clincher. Walter Payton needs 199 yards this week to surpass O.J. Simpson's single-season rushing mark. More importantly, the Bears can clinch a playoff spot with a win. New York with his Chicago Bears, needing a win to put them in that slot. Walter also needed some 199 yards to break O.J. Simpson's seasonal rushing record. But with both a rugged Giant defense and slushy turf to contend with, Payton never had much of a chance. Quarterback Bob Avellini hit Payton on a sideline pass that moved the ball into field goal range. However, in Payton's quest for extra yardage, he failed to get out of bounds to stop the clock. The final seconds ticked off as an anxious Bear bench prayed that the kicking unit could make the one play that would grant them the wild card berth. It all came down to number 16, Bob Thomas, who already had missed 2 field goals and an extra point during the game. But this time he did not fail. Only 9 seconds remained when his kick split the uprights.
1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Avellini wide to Payton. Makes a good catch. Lloyd pushes him, and then Rhodes knocks him out of bounds. Walter Payton. So Payton gets a couple. Been a long day for Walter. John Mendenhall among many Blues knocking him out. So Avellini is going to give to Payton. And he bursts through.
Whoa! Did he?
And Payton gets himself a 1st down. He got it to Walter Payton, and he is dragged down by Brian Kelly, and running for his life was an official who almost got swallowed up by the play, and that would be Al Conwine. Coming was Kelly, and he got the pass to Payton, and Payton is still in bounds before he is knocked down by Carson. He got away from Larry Mallory at the 24-yard line. 28 seconds. Nope.
Payton did not gain over 1,800 yards by simply running over a chalk-striped field. Like Payton. For one thing, they know Bear backs will make the most of the cracks or chasms they create. For another, intelligent running backs make linemen's jobs easier. Linemen and running back can count on each other. Be there to wall off the middle linebacker. Get past the line, and there's rookie tackle Ted Albrecht throwing a killer block downfield. Albrecht is often the weak side number 35 running back Roland Harper, and the sum often equals 6. Payton. Harper has become one of the finest blocking backs in the league, a Chicago Bear who has developed other skills for the good of the team. The same can be said of Abilene. Minnesota was next, and when the Bear offensive line finished work that day, Walter Payton had compiled an NFL record 275 yards, and Chicago had won a big one. But more important than the record was the fact that the Bears had moved to within one game of first place. They had established a pipeline to the playoffs, and Walter Payton had a shot at O.J. Simpson's rushing record of 2,003 yards. The highway opened by the Bear offensive line was called Ride 38, and ride it they did. It calls for the left side to cut their men at the line and leaves 4 blockers to get Walter Payton into the end zone. On the blackboard, it looks antiseptic, but the same play looks a good deal more awesome to the unfortunate cornerback who stands between touchdown and number 69, Reeve Sorey. A variation of Ride 38 puts number 65, Noah Jackson, in the role of cornerback destroyer, and worked equally well against Detroit the next week. In a 31-14 victory, Payton rushed for 137 yards. Tampa Bay fell the next week as Payton added another 100 to the record chase, and the Bears finally caught Minnesota with a 21-10 victory over the Packers when Payton added 163 yards to the growing total. Going into the final game of the season, the Bears had won 5 straight and had 2 goals clearly defined. A victory over the Giants would put them into the playoffs, and 194 yards would put Walter Payton into the NFL record books again. One clearly carried more weight.